Hymns of Praise, Chapter 75. In the name of the great life, may there be healing, victory, strength, soundness, speech, and hearing for me, Adam Johanna, son of Mahanus, from the life. We have acknowledged, and praises are due to the mighty sublime first life, the ineffable which is over all works. I come bringing, dedicating my head and my mouth to the life and to the implanted word and to Usa here, the great solace and support of life, in order to praise, honour, magnify, bless, and exalt thee. Yet who shall praise thee too? Life, and who life shall magnify the greatness of thy victories? Thou art lauded, thou art magnified, thou art glorified, and thou art exalted. For lo, thou art come. Thou camest, and none but thee came. At thy radiance the riders were afraid, at thy light gates and kingdoms were troubled. On seeing thee the Jordan turned about, he waves of the sea rolled back, and the islands of the sea were thrown into confusion. Chariots were overthrown, and they fall on their faces. Cedars of Lebanon were rent, mountains shook and leaped like stags. They opened and gave praise. Does in the desert shed their young untimely? The heights arise and speak in thy honour. The earth trembled and was shaken. Jordan, whom didst thou behold, that thou didst turn back? Waves of the sea, wherefore did ye roll back? Isles of the Seal, why were ye thrown into confusion? Chariots, wherefore did ye overturn and fall on your faces? Cedars of Lebanon, why were ye rent? Mountains, wherefore were ye shaken? And why did ye leap like stags? Why did ye open and give praise? Does in the desert on account of whom did ye miscarry your young? Heights in whose honour did ye arise and speak? Earth, whom didst thou behold, and at what didst thou tremble? At the radiance which surpasseth all radiance, at the light which surpasseth all lights, and at the good being who crosses the worlds and came and cleft the firmament and revealed himself, when the life gazed down and looked on the earth, and its glory alighted upon the roofs of its building. Lo, there were sitting on thrones of rebellion. They got down meekly from their thrones and fell upon their faces. It eclipsed and took away the glory of the worlds and generations, and quenched the flames of their lamps. It set the eyes of the planets in the depths of the earth, and in the lower glooms of Ilaknus, Spirit, Ruha, lifted up her voice. She cried aloud and said, my Father, why didst thou create me? My God, my Allah, why hast thou set me afar off and cut me off, and left me in the depths of the earth, and in the nether glooms of darkness, so that I have no strength to rise up thither. All arose, prayed and praised the majesty of mighty life, and their voices sang to the glory that is mighty, praising the radiance which surpasseth all radiance, and the light which surpasseth all lights, and the good being who crossed the worlds, came, cleft the firmament, and revealed himself. He sundered light from darkness, and sundered good from evil. He sundered life from death, and he brought out those who love his name of truth from darkness to light, and from evil to good, and from death to life, and set them on roads of truth and faith. And thou hast spoken to us with thy word, and hast commanded us with thy commandment. Be my glory, and I will be your glory. Be my light, and I will be your light. And my name shall be in your mouths, and I will be with you. Thou art he who overthrowest false gods in their high places, and bringest reproach on the divinity of false deities. They were broken down by shame on their way, and deep ignominy befell their temples, and fettered their might. Great is the splendour in which mandaean is arrayed. Blessed is that day of light. Praised is that dawn on which thou didst travel and come from worlds of light. That day is not reckoned in a count of days, nor in a reckoning of months, except that day on which thou was revealed from worlds of light. We will reveal to them that day on which thou wast revealed to all who love thy name of truth. Kusta. We offer up our commemoration, our petition, our prayer, our submission, our tupura, and our faith in thy presence, O Usahia, delight and great support of life, where we to stand and praise thee, thy name, thy title, and thy goodness 7 times a day. My Lord, who could praise thee, life, or magnify worthily the greatness of thy victories? Can the stinking body praise thee, or the vain tongue, where our mouth like the sea, our lips like its waves, and our tongue like cleft mountains? Then might we praise thee, magnify thee, honour thee, and bless thee. Thou knowest him who feareth thee with his heart, and him who confesseth thee with his lips. With a pure mouth be thou blessed, and lauded with a tongue of praise. Supporters who do not waver, interpretations of truth, which vary not praise thee, sons of perfection, besides thee, an endless, countless, and everlasting company, all shining with receptacle radiance, praises thee, for amongst them all hatred, envy, and dissensions exist not. The place which is all portals of radiance, light and glory, praiseth thee, the ancient, lofty, occult, and watchful one, Abatha, who sitteth according to his rank, like the life praises thee, the Uthra Patal praiseth thee, and saith to thee, Blessed art thou, my Lord, Mandadihia, and praised and blessed is the place from which thou camest, praised, magnified, and honoured is the great place from which thou camest, and praised, magnified, and honoured is the great place to which thou goest, elect righteous men from lower sanctuaries, praises thee, praises thee, for thy knowledge, thy wisdom, thine understanding, and thy goodness do they praise thee. Thou hast come, thou comest, and art ready to reveal thyself. Thou art immeasurable, infinite, and everlasting. Thou art the Father, thou art the brother, thou art the Son, thou art the source, thou art the great root of life, thou art the first, thou art the last, thou art the future, for thou preparest thyself to come, and didst depart in order to reveal thyself. Put far from us thy wrath, and bring near thy mercy. Turn back, push back, remove, and make impotent angels of wrath. Frost and hail from my land and my house, mine, Adam Yohanna, son of Mahanus, in the twinkling of an eye, and at a turn of the wheels, let our petition, our prayer, and our submission rise up before thee, Mandadihia. That which we have done, forgive us, and that which we do, forgive us. For thou, O Mandadihia, art a forgiver of sins, trespasses, follies, stumblings, and mistakes. If thou, O Mandadihia, didst not forgive our sins, our trespasses, follies, stumblings, and mistakes, who would stand guiltless before thee? Mandadihia, slaves are we, who are all sin, and thou, the Lord, who art all mercy before thee. All hands are thieving, and all lips lying. In thine eyes, Mandadihia, even Jordan waters are not cleansing. Set for righteous and believing people, causing our spirit and souls to dwell in abodes of life, according to the purpose of the life and the will of the three Uthras, and according to the will of Mandadihia, sublimest of beings, and according to the will of the four beings, sons of salvation. In thy presence there will be restoration for our spirit and our souls. Thou wilt clothe us with thy radiance, and cover us with thy light, and will not stand us before thee with the innocent, and not with the guilty, with the richly endowed, and not with the lacking. Knowledge of life is thy name, truth is thy name, pure is thy name, magnified is thy name, honoured is thy name, blessed is thy name, and abiding is thy name. Victorious art thou, and victorious is thy name. Victorious are the words of truth, which proceed from thy mouth over all deeds. Make victorious and establish this my soul, the soul of Adam Johanna, son of Mahanus, and life is victorious over all works. Chapter 76. In the name of the life, praises to the outer life, whom ye cause to dwell without, beyond the abode that hath limit. For your eyes are open to discern your own. Your ears hearken at your place. Praises to that one great name of life, which is above all names. Its name resteth on the great place of light, on the everlasting abode, and on the city of Uthras, and on the beam, who was greater than all beams, with whose fight all beams shine, and by whom all souls are justified. Who establisheth our strength, and cutteth us not off from the house of our trust? Who restoreth our souls at the house of ransom on the day of judgment, and perfecteth our souls on the great day of joy? Praises be to the one who is all the Uthras, and to one who is all prayers, and to the predestined one, who came and remained for our commemoration, and who was established in the presence of outer life, one on whose mouth life rested, and whose praise was established without praises. Praises to the ancient, the first, to the Son of the great primal life, whom life called, prepared, armed, and sent him forth to the generations. Lo, thou camest and didst open a door. Thou didst level a road, and tread out a path, didst set up a boundary stone, and didst knit together a community. Thou wast helper, saviour, and guide to the father of the great family of life, and didst knit it together in a communion of life, didst build it into a great building of sound construction, and didst bring it forth to the great place of light and the everlasting abode. O callers, whom I have summoned, O nourishers, whom I have nourished, O builders, whom I have raised up and brought out from amongst the peoples, nations and tongues. Behold, here I stand. Behold, here I dwell. Worlds against whom I guard myself. Though your words are not far from my face, if ye take mountains of food as your Vatican for eating, they will not satisfy, complete you. If ye take seas for your drinking, they will not make you perfect, content you. But if with perfections ye stand before the outer life, and before the eternal abode, I will count your number, and your reckoning shall be reckoned. Betimes I will come, and will fly, and will reach the sons of my name, the sons of my sign, and the sons of the great family of life. I will bind you together into the bundle of life, and I will build you into a great building of truth, and will bring you forth to the great place of light and to the everlasting abode. If there is no hatred, rancor, or dissension amongst you, the hand of the unbartables, custom officers, will not search amongst your garments. Ye will not pass over the bridge, nor walk in a narrow street. Ye will not stand before the judge, nor look on the contendants of the adversary at law, nor will ye see an averted face. The chief customs officer will not question you. Ye will go forth, ye will behold the perfecter of souls, one who setteth on paths of certainty his friends that are made perfect, a great comrade of the faithful, one of the great band of souls, who will come out toward you and clothe your souls in a garment of radiance, and in good pure vestments of light, which he will bring you from the great place of light and the everlasting abode. He will bring out towards you a wreath of victories, and every leaf of your wreaths will weigh 1,080 mithqals. Its brilliancy will exceed the brightness of the sun, and its light outshine the light of the moon. Ye will receive your vesture, and will receive your wreaths in the presence of the great life. Ye will be great and called Uthras amongst the Uthras. Ye will open your eyes and behold your judge. Betimes will the day spring dawn upon you. In strength ye will arise, and behold the outer ether and the great beam, who is all light, who was set up before the great life, he whom life created, prepared and sent forth to the ages and to the worlds, and every man who giveth oblation and took part in the communion from beginning to end. They will make as perfect as the mammoths, like rays of light. He'll be made to shine on the day of deliverance, on the day of redemption, the great day of joy, so that his righteous act stretcheth onward. It will precede you and will uplift, showing you the outer ether and the everlasting abode, the place which is ancient of primal beings and sons of the great family of life. They eat of that which is imperishable, and drink that which is not wine, eating well and asking solace. And an Uthra of life cometh and resteth upon them day by day, and hour by hour. Praises be to the fame of the righteous, and to the existence of chosen elect men, and to the unearthly being who standeth without, whose eyes are open and fixed upon those who love his name of truth. Thou art he, mandean, for thou knowest about that in which the perfect man is made perfect, and about the virtuous man, in what his virtue consisteth, and the lie of what doth it consist. Not a word issueth from the mouth of a perfect man, but thou knowest it, hast understood, and expected it in the great place of light, and the everlasting abode. The mountain doth not boast its strength, nor a hero his doughty deeds, nor doth a bowman vaunt his bow, nor the physician his drugs, nor the righteous and sage man the utterance of his mouth. Not so, it is an uthra of life, which cometh and resteth upon thy devotees, and those who seek from him shall find, and to those who ask of him it will be given, day by day, hour by hour. Behold us who stand in thy name, and are upheld by calling on thy name. We hold to thy leader of the great company of truth. We have held staunch because of thy victories. Humiliate us not, cast us not into the hands of tormentors, liars, hypocrites, and the censorious. Let not torturers strike us, nor condemners damn our souls. The good will see and will be found ready, but the wicked will be discomfited, and the children of the world be shamed. Perfected souls will see that the life existeth, and will direct their gaze to the great place of light, and the everlasting abode. Thou, mandean, callest the caller, nourishest the nourisher, buildest the builder, exaltest horns, enlargest footsteps, and settest up a road, and dost not knit together in communion. Thou art he who constructeth and who takest out from amongst the peoples, nations and tongues. Every man who is summoned, worthy and invited, to every man whose terms of life is over, thou wilt be a helper, saviour and guide to the great place of light, and to the everlasting abode. As to one whose term is incomplete, and he standeth, liveth in the body, able to open his mouth, lift up his voice, pray his prayers, and to offer up his praise, and whose feet can walk to my house, thine uthra shall come and shall rest upon him, thy friend. Diffuse thy light over all who love thy name of truth, Custer. Thou hast spoken with thy word, and hast commanded us with thy commandment over your words. My word hath precedence, and at the raising of your right hands towards me, my right hand will be lifted towards you. Ye will call, and I will answer you quickly. Ye will seek my hand, and I will not withhold it from your hands. We will pray with thee the Uthra's prayer, and ask of thee, of the great life, a petition for ourselves, for our friends, friends, and for those who love the great family of life, for the whole Nazarita of life, fulfilled and disseminated on earth. Thou wilt bring us some of thy radiance. Thou wilt lend us some of thy light. We will enter into thy radiance. We will go forth in thy light. We'll rise in thy name and be kept right by thy nature. Truth is thy name. Knowledge of life is thy name. Precious is thy name. Magnified is thy name. Victorious is thy name. Victorious are the words of truth which issue from thy mouth, and victorious are all thy deeds, and life is victorious. Chapter 77. In the name of the life, thee, O life, is it meet to praise, to honour, to magnify, and to bless? First life, second life, and third life, Yufin, Yafahifin, and Samana, Samira, and the vine, which is all life, and the great tree, which is all healings. Meet is it to praise, honour and magnify, and to bless Usahai and Patahai, who open, reveal the fitter of life, and transplant a planting of light, and install the first counterpart in the house of life. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify, and bless Nabat, the first great bursting forth emanation, the existence of life in its nature. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless the Lord of great fruition, the great and high being, who was fruitful, begetteth and produceth great fruit for himself. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless Yukabaziwa, who increased in his brilliancy and was great in his light. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless Yasatag Mandadihia, the life which proceed from life, the truth Kusta, that was aforetime in the beginning, who was mightier in his radiance than the words of light. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless Has, the stem of splendour, radiance, light and honour, whose branches are 1,000,000, and its tendrils a myriad. Well is it for him who hath looked on that tree, Bihram, who saw it, lived, shone, was cured and established, and his name hath not died. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify, and bless Sanasi, who standeth at the gate of life, and prayeth for spirits and souls. He interpreteth silence, inspireth hope, and taketh in keeping in the world of light the prayers of pious and believing people. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless Haihasam Kusta, messenger of life, the word of the first chosen elect men. He crosseth the worlds, came, pierced the firmament, and revealed himself. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify, and bless Bahagziwa, who is called, he acted and succeeded in his skinta. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless Yakasa, source of radiance, who bestoweth radiance and displayeth his fight. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless Birawis, the strong source, Kana. The Kana took thoughts so that its radiance increased. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless Aya, the pure vine, which abideth in the great and lofty treasure house of light. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless the pure Yasamin, who resteth upon the treasures of the waters and upon mighty wellsprings of light. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless the Uthra Tariel, the being who resteth by the pastures of the water, when a fragment from the little finger of his right hand fell off. There was consternation on earth and vexation in the world of falsehood. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless Adatan and Yadatan, who stand at the gate of life, and praise and extol life, and pray for the spirits and souls of righteous and believing people in the place of life. Meet is it to praise, honour, magnify and bless Silmai and Nidabai, two Uthras delegates of Mandadihia, who are active and do the work of life, with Kusta and with the testimony of the life. They immerse living, shining bright, and well-doing souls, who go in sincerity to the Jordan and are baptized, but not in the name of gods or of a Messiah. It is meet to praise, honour, magnify, and bless Samhai, Rahamhai, Inhai, and Zamahai, four beings, sons of perfection, who come towards sincere and believing people, and take them out of bonds tied by the hands of the wicked, and from beneath the claws of scheming men, and lift them up to the great place of light, and to the everlasting abode. They knit them into the bundle of life, and build them into a great building of sure strength. It is meet to praise, honour, magnify and bless Hibil, Setil, and Anus, sons of a stock which is living, light-giving, vigorous and sturdy, beings that cannot be taken by the sword, nor consumed by flames of fire, nor swept away by floods of water, nor will the thongs of their sandals be dipped in the water. They were judged and were justified. They sought and they found. They strove and reached the great place of light and the everlasting abode. It is meet to praise, honour, magnify and bless Sihun and Padun and Kanfun, Uthras, whose names, each one, are in the house of life. And the Uthras, Adam, Kaiser, Biram, and Ram, whose names are each one in the house of life, but their nature is too dualistic, and the names of the righteous and believing people will be established in the place of light. Thy name giveth out light, thy name is illustrious, thy name is pleasing, and thy name raiseth up. Thy name is victorious, and victorious are the words of truth, which issue from thy mouth. Victorious over all works, make victorious, and raise up this my soul, the soul of Adam Johanna, son of Manus, and life is victorious over all works. I copied these 3 prayers we have acknowledged, praises, and the life for myself, so that there may be commemoration for me on earth and yonder in the mighty and lofty worlds of light. For my heart hath testified to the first life, and I endure the persecution of the world from sons of the planets. For one name, Yahweh, do I strive with a pious and believing heart, for the love of precious truth. My waiteth on the life, and mine eyes upon mandaean, for they will be my support, my deliverer and saviour from the place of darkness to the place of light. I copied for myself, poor and lowly a slave, who is all sin, dust on the feet of the Nazareans. Chapter 78. In the name of the great life, may my thought, my knowledge, and my understanding enlighten me, Adam Johanna, son of Manus, by the means of these responses and homilies for baptism and the Masquida. In the name of the great life, when the myrtle flourished in the gardens of Hibil, when the wild Madaram grew in the precincts of the Manda, they gave me 2 twigs of myrtle, from which they twisted a wreath for the Jordan, for it was wondrous, and fragrant is its perfume. Recite this hymn, and twist a wreath of myrtle for thy staff, then read the Jordan hymn. Hear me, my Father, hear me. Chapter 80. In the name of the great life, hear me, my Father, hear me. Draw me upward, O Great One, Son of the mighty life, our Father, Son of the light. Silmai and Nidbai, lords of the Jordan, hear me. Jordan and both its banks, hear me. Hear me, Hibil Zua, whose strength resteth upon his brethren, the Uthras. Hear me, Yahweh, thou whose creations rest on, depend upon the Jordan. Hear me, Mana, Rabba, Kabir, and raise that which ye have planted. Hear me, Habala, and Kana de Ziva. Hear me, Abathar Rama, whose strength presideth over the scales. Hear me, great Bihram, and raise me up, Yazatag Mandadihia. Hear me, ye 7 mysteries, which reside in the great wellspring. Hear me, ye 3 wellsprings, which give out radiance, light, and effulgence. Hear me, ye 3 manners, whose rest upon the Jordan, with your treasure. Hear me, Anos Uthra, whose strength dwelleth upon Met. Chapter 81. In the name of the great life, hear me, my Father, hear me, and draw me upward, great Son of the mighty life, our Father, Son of life. Sumai and Nidbai, lords of the Jordan, hear me. Jordan and its 2 banks, hear me. Habasaba and Kanadi Zigwa, hear me. Hear me, great life, from the height, hear me. Chapter 82. In the name of the great life, at the fountainhead came I forth, at the source of springs of life went I hence. 3 skinters, sanctuaries, did I found, and set over them guardians as rulers. The guardians I appointed to rule over them are sublime, blessed, and trusty to the uttermost. Repeat this hymn when thou art baptizing, and takest up the mambaha into the file from the Jordan, and recite the prayer. At the fountainhead of water came I forth, and then recite, Blessed art thou out a door. Chapter 83. In the name of the great life, how lovely are plants which the Jordan hath planted, and raised up, pure fruit have they borne, and on their heads they set living wreaths. Yahweh rejoiceth in the good plants which the Jordan planted and raised. The plants rejoice and flourish in the perfume of mandean, which breatheth upon them. Chapter 84. Truly did my baptizer baptize me. Well, did my baptizer baptize me? Truly did my baptizer baptize me, and your baptism shall attain its end. Chapter 85. Silmai hath baptized us with his baptism, Nibdai hath signed us with his pure sign, the great Anus Uthra hath placed living wreaths on our heads. Chapter 86. The Jordan in which we have been immersed shall be our witness, that we have turned not away from our sign, nor have altered our pure word. Chapter 87. I rejoice in my priest and in Nazareans who hearken to my converse. I rejoice in you, my priest, for ye have not changed my pure word. Chapter 88. In the name of the great life, may the sublime light be magnified. Rightly do I say to you, my chosen, who went up with me to the Jordan, pervert and change me not, alter me not by hand, pervert not, nor alienate me. Men who have heard the voice of life, he who heareth the voice of life will be edified, will be built up and armed. Such a man's strength will be doubled. Moreover, those who listen to the speech of the life will be greatly increased, will be enriched, and will not lack. Into the communion that is great will he be knit. He will enter the communion that is great, so that he will be united therewith, and will arise, and will behold the place of light, and life is renowned and victorious the man who went hence. Chapter 89. In the name of the great life be magnified, to you do I call, and you do I teach. Men who have received the sign hearken not to the talk of all peoples and generations. Let not their stumblings cause you to stumble. Stumble not because of their stumblings. Be not interrogated at their tribunals, and their tribunals be not integrated Certainly have ye held to established truth. Ye have held to the certainty about which I instructed you. I call to my chosen ones, so that ye may not turn your thought away from me, because any man who is not steadfast in thought, whose mind is turned against me, whose mind is turned from me, great and not, shall be his hurt. If ye have attained my strength, bear arms for me. If ye bear arms for me, firmly, stand by me from beginning to end. But if ye have not attained my strength or army, go from me, and approach not. For he that entereth it and beareth arms for me, his garment will be adjusted to the house of perfection, but he that weareth it, doth not perfect it, will die, and his spirit will extinguish. He will die, and extinct will be his spirit. He will become the portion of the world. Thou hast conquered, mandean, good one, who confirmest thy friends. Renowned and victorious is life, and victorious the man who went hence. Chapter 90. In the flame of the great life, the sublime light be glorified. A disciple am I, a new one, for I went to the Jordan bank, and took my name on my head, and in my heart I took a sign. My sign is not that of fire, nor is it that wherewith the Anointed One. My sign is a Jordan of living water, the strength of which none can attain. He chose one out of 1,000, and from 2,000 he chose 2, making traders of them, who labour and ply their trade on earth, and they trade for free and pious gift, and shine more than sun and moon. I came to the congregation of souls, for the life sent me forth. There were some who bought my wares. There those who came to their end and lay down. There were those who bought my wares. The eyes of such a one were filled with light. Filled with light were his eyes, on beholding the Great One in the house of perfection. There were those who did not buy my wares. They went on, reached their end, and lay down. They were blind and saw not. Their ears were stopped, and they heard not, and their hearts were not awakened to behold the Great One in the house of perfection. As they called them, and they answered not. When they call, who will answer them? Because it was given to them, but they took not. Who will give to them when they ask? They hated the way of life and its abode, but loved the abode of the wicked. And lo, in the abode of the wicked will they be held captive. They tied up their tribute, their money, in a lappet of their clothes. When they wish to lift their heads, hold their heads high, they hurl them down to the gates of darkness. To my chosen do I call, to my plants who stand by the Jordan. I say to them, my children who walk in my road, my children who follow my road. Swerve not from it, or its boundary. Let him who deviateth from its boundary cling to the boundary stone. He who hath turned aside from both will fall into the uttermost ends of the world. Thou hast conquered, mandean, good one, who confirmeth his friends. Thou wilt forgive us, who praise our Lord, our sins and our trespasses. Renowned and victorious is life, and victorious the man who have gone hence. Up to here are the hymns and chants of baptism, and from here to below are the hymns and chants of the Mesquitta. Chapter 91. My vigilance and praise-giving are my ferrymen across the waters of death. A transformation brought me over, a cloud of light took me over. Impurity, shalt thou rise to the place of light. Chapter 92. In the name of the life, go in peace, chosen, pure, and guiltless ones. Thou art without spot. Thou hast proven thyself by thy sojourn on earth, and thy destiny leapt upward from its struggles. From its struggles, thy destiny leapt upward. Above all the world, thou hast spoken, chosen and pure one, saying, I am a seer, a diviner. A seer am I, and a diviner. The worlds assembled for judgment. For judgment the worlds assembled, and judgment was pronounced on them. On them was judgment pronounced, on those who did not perform the works of right-dealing man. But thou alone, chosen and pure one, fair manner, that art burnished, bright, thou goest not to the judgment hall. Judgment will not be pronounced over thee. Over thee judgment will not be pronounced, because thou didst perform the works of right-dealing mankind. This, that they endure and bear, thou, O chosen one, wilt not find before thee. Escape the clutch of the planets and the forces of this world. Take put on thy garment of radiance, set on thy living ref. Bow thyself and worship, prostrate thyself and praise the great life. Praise the place of light to which thy fathers go. Thou, O chosen one, wast not from here, from this everlasting abode. They have set up for thee a throne of rest, in which there is no heat or wrath. There is kept for thee a girdle, in which there is no trouble of fault. Good one, rise to the house of life, and go to the everlasting abode. They will hang thy lamp amongst lamps of light, and they will shine in thy time, and lit thy moment arise. Behold, the place of light, renowned is life, and victorious the man who went thither. Chapter 93. The manna rejoiceth in its treasure, and in the glory of life, which resteth on it. I have acknowledged thee, O elect righteous one, for thou settest my soul free from transitory things. Chapter 94. Hail to thee, soul! Thou hast departed from the world. Thou leavest corruption and the stinking body in which thou hast been. Thou leanest its abode, the abode of the wicked, the place which is all sinning, the world of darkness, of hatred, jealousy, and dissensions, the abode in which the planets go about, bringing pains and blemishes. Pains they bring and blemishes, every day causing them tribulation. Rise up, soul, ascend to thy first homeland. Rise to thy first homeland, the place from which thou wast transplanted, to the place from which thou wast transplanted, to thy good dwelling, the dwelling of Uthras. Bestir thyself, don thy garment of glory, and set on thy living ref. Rise, inhabit the Scincters, amongst the Uthras, thy brethren, as thou hast learnt. Praise thy first home, and curse this place, the house of thy fostering. For during the years that thou didst spend therein, every day the 7 were thine enemies. The 7 were thine enemies, and the 12 beset thee with persecution. Renowned is life and victorious the man who hath gone thither. Chapter 95. Her Sunday, her custer, and her arms bear witness for the soul. Ye will be her witness, and will pass her through at the toll house. Chapter 96. I am provided and provisioned. Uthras of light equipped me. I am provisioned, for life provided for me, and I am equipped by Uthras of light. They provided me with provisions of truth. Key. I lifted mine eyes to heaven, and my soul waited on the house of life. And the life who heard my cry sent toward me a deliverer. The deliverer who came to me brought me that which was lovely. He opened out a robe and showed me its radiance, and I cast off the stinking body. He grasped me with the palm of his right hand and led me over the waters of death. Over the waters of death he brought me and led me onward. In the likeness of life he supported me. Life supported life. Life found its own self did life find, and my soul found that for which it had looked. Renowned is life and victorious the man who went hence. Chapter 97. He rose and took me with him, and did not leave me in the perishable dwelling. Chapter 98. The day on which the soul goeth forth, on the day that the perfected one ascendeth, on the day that the soul issueth from below, the spears of death, of contention, strife was thrown into the earth. Rahas slaves sit bewailing, and the 7 sit in consideration, The robe of the stars is lent, and dust is cast on Ruha's head. The hell beast weep, and the demons of purgatories are panic stricken. The being who brought me hither, who brought me that which was beautiful, put on me a robe, clothed me in a robe of radiance. In a wrapping of light he covered me. He set on my head a wreath of ether, and gave me of that which life bestoweth on the Uthras. He set me up amongst Uthras, and stood me up amidst the perfected souls. A wreath of ether he set on my head, and gloriously he brought me forth from the world. Life supported life. Life found its own. Its own did life find. And my soul found that for which it had looked. Renowned is life and victorious the man who went thither. Chapter 99. Ye are set up and raised up, my chosen ones, by the word and certitude that came to you, the word and the certitude that came to the good, the true word which came to believers. My chosen ye sought, and ye found. Moreover, ye shall seek, and ye shall find. Ye sought and found, my chosen ones. As the first souls sought and found, thou art victorious, mandaeism, and thou bringest to victory all who love thee, and life is victorious. Here recite, blessed and praised is life, that souls.